Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Professionals live stream. I'm your host, Weebo Jones. With me tonight is my lovely co-host, SDA. Say hi, SDA.
Hi, SDA.
And joining us is Scribbles. Say hi, Scribbles.
Hi, Scribbles.
This is our office temp for the evening.
Yes,
How may
and
I
also,
help you today?
oh my god. For those of you who are in the chat complaining about how late we are, we're not late. You're all simply early, and that is the simple long and short of it. Deal with it.
Yeah, the show starts at 7:30 Eastern time, and yeah.
Mhm.
So
Every Sunday, unless we say otherwise, which, by the way, we might have to not have it on my channel next week because I'll be at work again.
You work?
Over it. Yeah, I work.
Oh,
It'll be another 60-hour work week.
Jesus Christ.
we'll talk about it. But anyway, so last week was kind of fuckadoodled because of VidCon.
Yeah.
But VidCon was fun. It was a whole thing. But we're back. So we're back. And yeah, I'm sick. But there's no need to be rude about it, Lion Patriot. Like, go sit in the fucking corner. I would put you in timeout. Can you put him in timeout for that, please?
No, he's being
a dick.
Well, hi,
At
audience.
least
I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you, audience. I mean, your regular host might not be, but I'm
very happy to see the audience, but being a dick. Jesus.
Hey, Ray Cancer with the women working rip Western civilization. Thanks, Weebo. You're welcome. I do my part to end the world. One paycheck at a time.
Yeah.
It's my thing.
Anyway, today we just, because it's been a minute, today on the show, the things that we do here are advice time. Our advice time? Wow, SDA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ah! The things that we do here are advice time in the Discord at about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to do that, there is a link to the Discord in the description. And you can go into the couch. You can ask us your advice questions, and we will answer them with Scribbles here. Usually we only have about 43 plus years of life experience, but today we have more.
More. That's very generous of you.
Yep. Joel Oldrick said he forgot he subscribed, and he also asked what the topic was, which is a brilliant segue into the topic of the conversation that we're going to have today, which is a lot of things. What do you want to start with?
Which is a lot of things.
What do you want to start with? The Georgia State rep, Miss Michigan.
Just do it in the order that you put it in here in.
Okay. I forgot what order that was.
Just put it in the order you put it here in.
She sent me a list. Just do it in the list order.
You're talking like a CNN article reads right now.
Hey, it's a charm, and the people are used to it.
All right, you're right. I'm a guest in your house. I'm sorry.
She sent me a list, right? And what I was communicating to her when she asked me the question, was that I wanted her to read out the stories in the list that she sent me the stories in. Okay, that's what the order of the list.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
all right.
My English major just barfed a little.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an author. And
welcome to the professional.
Yes. This conversation gives me hope that I too may have a chance in the author business.
Mm-hmm.
Good, that's what I'm here for.
All right. So the first story that I did send you was the one about Miss Michigan getting her crown stripped of her after a few tweets, as is what happens in the common.
Yes, they
sector.
pulled up the tweets, and then things got problematic, and people were unhappy, and so they were like, "No crown for you," and now it's a whole thing.
So I'm just gonna actually read the article instead of go with that summary because wow,
what happened?
I think SDA had an aneurysm, ladies and gents. So Kathy Zhu, I think is how you pronounce her last name, stripped of Miss Michigan 2019 title after racist tweets surface. She was stripped of her title after several insensitive to racist. Okay, yes, we get it. 20-year-old received an email Friday from the pageant removing her from her position. Wah wah. It has been brought to the attention of Miss World America (NWA) that your social media accounts contain offensive, insensitive, and inappropriate content. The letter said. Pause. I just want to say I am so thankful that my mother never went through with the whole beauty pageant thing that she wanted to with me, because that was on the table for a while there. It was just a little bit, and thank God it didn't actually happen. Thank you to the Price is Right review for the $5 over on the Super Chats. Miss Michigan Marvel can shove it. Lol. My inner Trekkie is excited for Star Trek Picard. I just hope it doesn't end up like Star Trek Discovery. And then the back hand gestures, the Vulcan ones. I think I'm doing this right? Right? Yeah. Okay,
Sure.
good. So, she tweeted out Miss World America's State National Chief Director accused me of being racist, Islamophobic, and insensitive. They stripped me of my Miss Michigan title due to my refusal to try on a hijab in 2018. My tweet about black on black gun violence and insensitive statistical tweets. It also said that Zhu no longer met the requirement of being in good character, therefore ineffective. Immediately, MWA does not recognize you as a participant of any sort or in any capacity as it relates to any and all events of MWA. It concluded. Wah, wah. Anyway. The social media posts were targeted at Muslim women and gun violence in the black community. According to screenshots obtained by the Orlando Sentinel, the first tweet said, "There is a try-on hijab, jabab. There is a try-on, I wish.
There is a hijab on booth at my college campus. So you're telling me that it's now just a fashion accessory and not a religious thing, or are you trying to get women used to being oppressed under Islam?
Yeah. Did you know that the majority of black deaths are caused by other blacks? The second tweet said, fix problems within your own community first before blaming others. The tweets were sent in 2017 and 2018, but have since been deleted. Low-key, I don't know why you would delete those tweets if you're sticking by them now, though. Like, low-key, it's not really... There's nothing super wrong with either of those tweets. Just from a standpoint of, like, you know, that's just a thing. Like, one of those is an actual statistical fact. Like, it's not, like, backed up by actual statistics. Like, she doesn't pull numbers out of her, off of Federal Bureau of Investigation, website where they have all the statistics and, like, cite them verbatim. But that is a fact. And then the other one is just about whether or not she wants to try on a hijab. I mean, like,
well,
that's more of an opinion.
The optics aren't good. That's
the thing is, like, as stupid, as stupid as people might think this is or whatever, these standards of, like, you have to be squeaky clean have been there for, like, ever in these kinds of things. So, yeah, so that's not new. There are a lot of organizations that if you willingly join them, that they require you to behave a certain way. And if you don't, they'll kick you out. And that you sign on to that when you join them. And that's kind of how it is. So there is that element to it. But also more people are calling her pretty now than they were before this happened. So if anything, she sort of won the whole beauty pageant thing, if you look at it that way.
Here's the thing, right? So they were like, we're just not going to have you be a part of this because it's bad for optics. But this is also kind of bad for optics in that it blew up. And now they look even worse because of the fact that it blew up and they retroactively redacted her crown from her.
Well, it kind of doesn't necessarily look bad for them because if they don't go through everybody's Twitter timelines, like, extensively, then whatever. But when somebody brings it up to them and they go, oh, wow, she's a terrible person. I'm not saying I think she's a terrible person, but if they say, oh, okay, she's a terrible person, then yeah, she can't be in our group or whatever because, she's saying terrible things, then okay, we'll take it away. Then they don't really look bad. I mean, they look bad to us because we think that's bad, but all in all, they're holding to the rigid standards of their organizations.
No,
Yeah.
they look terrible because they're doing this retroactively rather than vetting their contestants before they put them on the stage. They did this after the fact, and so they look like they don't know what they're doing, or they're letting in people that they could otherwise have found this information out just as easily. What this looks like, and this was Satsu's theory the other night when we talked about this, someone got jealous that she won, did a little outrage archaeology, and came up with something to get her disqualified retroactively.
I mean, that's entirely possible. And women are certainly catty enough to actually go about doing that kind of a thing. Let's be honest. But it doesn't sit right with me because the tweets were from 2017 and 2018, right? And they have since been deleted. I don't know when she deleted them, but the fact that they have been deleted, I guess, so shows an element of remorse. The fact that they were a year, 2 years ago. And she is only, what, 18, 19? She's in college. So, I mean, she's young. And I don't like saddling people with controversies this early on in their lives that are this mundane and stupid and this nothing burger. Because this is just someone's opinion on Twitter. It wouldn't be a big deal if she weren't Miss... Is it Michigan? Yeah, it's Michigan. Unless someone actually had gone digging. But that's the culture that we've developed now as a society. One that's like, well, if you dig far enough and deep enough into a person's social media history, you're going to be able to find something that you can use against them because there's someone else out there who's super sensitive about all this jazz and they just don't want the bad optics. I'm just like, a bad moment does not tell the rest of the world about an entire person's being.
Yeah, now
depending on how bad the moment is.
And now whoever they hand the crown to will be not only just the runner-up, but also she wasn't able to prove her worth before they found out about these tweets. Yeah, so now I think this makes the pageant look idiotic. This girl gets all the sympathy in the world, and she'll be a Fox News correspondent within 3 years. So.
Yeah. I don't think that she was just, like, docked her crown because she was a Trump supporter, which is kind of what it feels like this is being made out to look like. I think that it's just bad optics, and they are trying to avoid an even bigger poo storm.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's... I think we've talked it to death, so...
Probably. Yeah.
Moving on from there.
So what did I send you next? Was it the Chris Pratt's thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. 8. So Chris Pratt, "Don't tread on me" shirt stirs debate. Revolutionary War slogan, racist? Question mark? So Chris Pratt wore a shirt that repped the "Don't tread on me" flag, which has now been labeled by some as racist and something white supremacists use, but that's not entirely accurate. Here's the deal. Chris was out in LA with his wife, Catherine Schwarzenegger, really?
Yeah, he just married her like a month ago or something like that.
Oh, wow, nice. Earlier this week, and he was wearing a navy t-shirt with the American flag on it and the rattlesnake superimposed sitting atop the phrase "Don't tread on me." It's a mashup of Old Glory and the Gadsden flag. Chris has been criticized over the past few days for wrapping the flag in the slogan originally created during the Revolutionary War as a message from the American colonies to England that's since been adopted by the Tea Party and other far-right political groups. I know that the Libertarian Party uses this flag quite often. Quite often. The Gadsden flag has been used by some white supremacists in recent years, most notably in 2014, when the bodies of 2 dead police officers were draped with the Gadsden flag that bore swastikas. It has been seen in the same company as Confederate and Nazi flags. So in this image, actually, I'm looking at this, right, and I'm seeing a lot of people wear khakis. So that means that anytime anyone has ever worn khakis, that's also been racist. And this other guy, he's wearing Adidas. Yeah, so if you wear Adidas, in this picture, he's wearing Adidas. If you're wearing Adidas, obviously you're a vehement racist. Sorry, I don't make the rules. That's just how this works. Thoughts from the panel?
Hitler wore khakis. I know. Crazy, isn't it?
Scribe, you've just broken the internet.
I know, right?
SDA.
Glad to see we're all on page here.
No, I'm listening. I just don't have anything to add.
I noticed that they're wearing polos as well. You know, I own several polos. Does that make me a Nazi? Or does
Sure.
does wearing them make me a Nazi? It's not just having them, it's wearing them. Anyway, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission ruled in 2016 that the flag alone could be viewed as a racial harassment in the workplace, depending on the context. While it noted the flag doesn't have racist origins today, it can be sometimes interpreted to convey racially tinged messages in some contexts. Like with anything. Freaking milk, people!
Well, yeah, I mean, and yeah, in some contexts, because the alt-right uses, like, libertarians use the flag and the alt-right uses the flag too. I mean, the alt-right uses a lot of dog whistles, whether people know it or not. And like, look, I don't have a list of the dog whistles in front of me. Like, I don't know all of them. But yeah, so people who are more familiar with some of the dog whistles might be more sensitive to it. But then, you know, I don't know. Like, I got no fucking clue.
The whole concept of the dog whistle to me is just so corrupt.
Well, it's not. I mean, like, okay, there are people who use them though.
No. Okay, so I should probably explain better. When I say corrupt, I mean like you're selecting what meaning to ascribe to a certain symbol that may or may not actually have that intent. Because like, I'm wearing this hat, right? And not everyone actually knows what this hat means.
Yeah,
some
it's a Pokemon hat.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon hat. No, it's a Nightwing hat.
Oh, okay.
It's Nightwing.
JK. It looks like the Team Mystic thing.
Yeah, see? Now, okay, this is a perfect example of why we shouldn't let, you know, the certain views that people have of dog whistles prescribe how it is that we treat or we view other people who might not actually see those things as dog whistles.
For sure. Because, like, people have pointed out, like, 420, for example, is Hitler's birthday. And it's also weed. And
it's also a code that police officers use too. It's like
right. So it's not a catch-all thing. It's just it's something that is a thing, and then it's also something that. But that's why dog whistles are also innocuous things, right? Yeah. And that's why they're co-opted symbols. It's because they blend in, and it doesn't. You know, I don't know. It's a conversation that I am too tired to have right now.
It's because, like,
I don't have my notes in front of me with all my points that are going to make me sound smart.
You come to the show with notes?
Prepared and enthused.
To have this conversation, I'd have to have, like, notes in front of me, and I'd have to be like, all right, here are my points to, like, get my thoughts together. And have a conversation about this.
People were looking for a reason to be pissed off at Chris Pratt because he's more of a conservative than your average Hollywood star, and he's a big star. And so now that he's a conservative and he teaches his kid to say the Pledge of Allegiance, he's now the enemy. So
I'm not talking about I'm talking about the dog whistle thing in general. Like, that whole it's a big conversation. It's a big issue, and we should talk about it, and we should have conversations. Scribe.
Just not when you're like dying on the inside, right?
That's what we're having right now.
Hey. Next time. Next time, come with notes, SCA.
You're right.
I don't pay you for this nonsense.
But I already didn't do that. Speaking of, if you guys want to pay us, there is a stream to the Link Labs down in the Discord below.
Yeah,
how could you resist paying for this quality of content?
Hey. That seemed rather aggressive there. They're Sunny Biscuit. Right?
That was my game show host voice. What do you mean aggressive?
I don't quite. All right,
we got it is 7:50. We got shit to do. Let's go, Weebo.
Yeah, aggressively clapped.
Hurry up.
All right, Georgia State Representative Erica Thomas. It's Thomas. There's an H there. Thomas, no, backtracks on racism accusations. So this would happen while I was in the middle of nowhere, so I have absolutely no context. So WEEBO is experiencing this whole thing the first time today, so we're gonna see.
I know all about this at this point.
I noticed it was trending, so I put it in the video for the trends. Georgia State Representative Erica Thomas who asserted in a tearful Facebook post that a white man at a Publix grocery store told her to go back to where you came from, seems to be less sure that the Friday encounter was exactly how she remembered. After reaffirming to reporters Saturday that a white man had verbally accosted her and her daughter telling them to go back to where they came from in a racially charged tirade, Thomas was interrupted by the accused man himself, Eric Sparkles.
Sparkles? His name's Eric Sparkles.
Eric
Sparks.
Oh, that's not Sparkles. That's Sparks. I'm sorry.
Oh, my Christ.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Jesus. Okay,
WEEBO.
so SDA can't talk, WEEBO can't read.
WEEBO, I need you to get it together because we got to talk about Marvel still before we get to advice time.
All right,
and it is 7:52. Get your life together, WEEBO.
Sorry, Eric Sparks, who had a very different story to tell. Sparks accused Thomas of faking the story for political purposes, saying he was, in fact, a Cuban-American Democrat who was simply irritated that she bought so many groceries to the express checkout lane. Yeah. Wow. Thomas rebuked Sparks's version of events, however, in an interview later in the day on Saturday, saying, I don't know if he said go back or those types of words. I don't know if he said go back to your country or go back to where you came from, but he was making those types of references is what I remember. A local journalist further asked her, so you don't remember exactly what he said? Thomas replied, no, definitely not, but I know it was go back before I told him to go back. In Thomas's original video, the black lawmaker tearfully recounted a traumatic incident in which a man began using racially charged insults after accusing her of bringing too many groceries to the express checkout line. Thomas posted the video to her Facebook account on Friday evening. Her story quickly gained traction in the wake of President Trump's Go Back tweet as the media seemingly believed her version of events, and I Stand With Erica began trending on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Wah, wah. John Woodruff for $2. Thank you. Yeah, I remember my first beer. OMG. What do you mean? Are you implying that I am intoxicated, good sir? I haven't been intoxicated since midnight this morning.
All right. So, Marvel, go. Let's go.
All right. Okay.
We have things to look. We're on a tight schedule.
All right. All right. What
do
you want to talk about, Marvel?
Damn it.
What do you want to talk about?
All right. So, Phase 4. Thoughts?
Yes.
They're coming out with the Black Widow, an Untitled, the Eternals movie,
yes.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, WandaVision Disney Plus
There's
series.
a Loki movie.
No, it's a Loki TV series.
Loki's dead. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Loki Disney Plus series, Untitled, the Falcon and Winter Soldier Disney Plus series, Thor 4, Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder.
What does that mean?
I can only imagine.
Well, okay. So, yeah. So phase
Real
4.
Quick, hold on. Just to back up.
Uh-huh.
Does a Loki TV series mean that I get to watch Tom Hiddleston for more than 2.5 hours?
Yes.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yes. So phase 4 is a combination of both the movies and the television shows that'll show up on Disney Plus, and they feed into each other as events in WandaVision will have an effect on the next Doctor Strange movie because Scarlet Witch will appear in that movie. As far as like Winter Soldier and Falcon, as far as I understand it, that series is going to tell the story of how Falcon sort of gradually earns his way into becoming Captain America by the end of the series or something like that. And you got the Black Widow movie, which will be the first one coming out May of next year, I think it is. And it's a prequel. It takes place, we're not quite sure. It's either in between the events of Civil War and Infinity War or something. It's kind of unclear, but it's before she, spoiler alert, dies in Endgame. I'm looking forward to that one so long as they keep it on a more espionage level and not too many actual superhero level, but I guess we'll see.
I'm super kind of hyped for the Black Widow movie.
And then what about the Love and Thunder thing?
So that's going to be the next Thor movie, directed by the same. For the life of me, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. But anyway, he did Ragnarok. So it'll be another sort of uber comic booky, not serious like the first couple of Thor movies. The problem is, or at least the big question mark is, Natalie Portman's coming back.
Yeah.
To star in the film, or at least co-star, depending. Which is odd because the whole rumor machine was she was not pleased with the fact that for Thor 2, they replaced the original female director with a male director. And I believe that female director went on to go do Wonder Woman for DC. And so after Thor 2, she was pretty much absent from the Marvel Universe, and she was even made mention of, like, they broke up, her and Thor. Then she made a sort of appearance in Endgame, except that it was unused footage from Thor 2 that they just put into the movie. But now she's coming back, and apparently she is going to become Thor. She's going to become the female Thor as depicted in the comic books to some extent.
Literally how?
Well, who knows? In the comic books, the justification for her being able to pick up the hammer is convoluted, and originally her identity is shrouded in mystery in the comic books until later it's revealed it's Jane Foster. How are they going to justify it here? I don't know, because after Captain America ends up being the only other person to ever pick up the hammer, it's kind of a hard act to follow to be Jane Foster, a character that hasn't been around in the franchise for years.
Because when Captain America did it, it was really fucking cool.
Dude, that was
that was a moment, and I was kind of waiting for it, but I was still like fucking shooketh, and like, I, along with everybody else in the theater, was all like,
Yeah.
And
it
was a moment, and like, you got to have a moment, and like, but now it's not special.
Yeah, I don't know how they justify that. I'm sure the director and writers will come up with something clever. But yeah, the Captain America picking it up was hinted at in Age of Ultron, that he had the ability to do so, but he just never did.
Which was why it was like so clever and like such a it was cool.
Yeah, and so now it kind of cheapens the effect if somebody just sort of like picks it up for. They're gonna have to come up with a really good reason for it to have worked.
Yeah, and I hope they do, because overall the MCU is really fun because, for like whatever its faults, the fact that big of a group project more or less worked out, in my opinion, more because I really, really love it. But, whatever people's opinion, more or less worked out, is really just amazing, just on a creative level. So I hope that they come up with a good reason and that they do work it out.
Other than that, the other sort of big surprise is that they're going to reboot in some fashion Blade, starring, and I'm going to mess up his name, but it's Mahershala Ali, who's an actor who, if you watch the Luke Cage series, you'll recognize as the guy who played Cottonmouth. He's been in a whole bunch of other TV shows and things. He looks the part, certainly. What wasn't clarified is whether Blade will be a TV show or a movie. It just kind of said Blade, and that's one of the things that's been kind of ambiguous about a couple of the deals. And the cool thing is, maybe the Blade movie means that Marvel will start creating more darker set of movies, hopefully, because the idea was floated out there that the next Doctor Strange movie, the Multiverse of Madness, that title.
Yeah, I hope that's a working title.
Well, that hints to me that maybe they're going to lean on a more Lovecraftian setting, because
that would be fun.
Because Multiverse of Madness harkens to At the Mountains of Madness, one of Lovecraft's stories and things like that. And there was a whole lot of Lovecraftian influence in the Doctor Strange comic books back in the day. So I'm hoping that's the case, that they go a bit darker. They explore the more horror / sort of evil aspects of the Marvel universe that are out there, like Ghost Rider, like Blade, like the darker side of Doctor Strange. But we'll see. And Scarlet Witch will make an appearance in that movie in some capacity. What else? Oh, Valkyrie's gay. That's big news, even though we already knew that.
Yeah, that was confirmed off screen, and
it's not a super big deal.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're making it a big deal.
But the LGBT people are, and honestly, like just let them have the one character. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't care.
Just let them have the person at this point. It's going to be okay.
I didn't care when the deleted scene was revealed. It's like, oh yeah, she kissed that girl in the flashback before they went to battle. Like, okay.
I'm actually a little bit curious about what this Eternals movie is supposed to be.
So the Eternals are. How can I put this?
Before we get into all of that, we are into advice time because it is 8. So, guys, if you would like advice, go ahead and go into the Discord and go into the couch section of the Discord, and you can ask us your advice questions. If you are not a part of our Discord, there is a link in the description where you can join, and then you can hop in there and you can ask us your advice questions. There is no, okay, real quick. There is no making the LGBT people happy. They will never stop. Well, they're happy about this. So I would say that there is a little bit of making them happy because they're happy about this. So that's making them happy. And yeah, I mean, given that she's been gay this whole time and that they're just going to like have her be gay on screen, as in like the same way that you'd have somebody be straight on screen, it's just not a big deal. And like, don't go all Glenn Beck the gay agenda all over the place. All right, calm the fuck down. It's going to be okay. If there's a little bit of gay in a Marvel movie, you're going to live. All right? It's going to be fine. She was gay before this happened.
SDA.
What?
Did we get Lion Patriot's donation?
No, probably not.
Thank you to Lion Patriot who donated $8 over on the Streamlabs to say only SDA can wrangle the wild Weebo. That is correct.
Yeah.
Scribe, were you going to say something about the Eternals?
Yeah, so they're part of the sort of the cosmic side of the Marvel Universe, sort of like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's difficult to describe what they're going to do with the characters because sort of like Guardians of the Galaxy, they're a known but far more sort of F-list set of characters from the Marvel Universe. So presumably they're going to try to we're going to take a very unknown or relatively unknown set of characters, make them into something really cool and move them up. Angelina Jolie is part of them. Selma Hayek is part of the group. One of the characters will be the first deaf character in the Marvel and in the MCU, and the actress is actually deaf, so we can avoid all of that arguments or whatever. So yeah, there's that. Otherwise, rest of the Marvel stuff. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of
marveled out.
I'm a bit marveled out. I'm hoping that what they promise they'll do is what they're actually going to do is that there's going to be 2 separate branches to the movies now. You're going to have the cosmic stuff. You're going to have the earthbound stuff, and they'll each have their own little arcs. The really big announcement was the Fantastic Four is coming to the MCU. They didn't give specifics, and they didn't say when, but it is coming, which means that, you know, that's a big deal for a lot of people, and who's going to be the bad guy and all that kind of stuff. So
I'm actually super excited for the cosmic stuff to go down.
I really hope Doctor Strange 2 kicks it off because his origin story and that the possibilities for that character are so good. And I thought the first movie was, they got the origin story kind of right. They didn't quite get the character right. He's way too jokey, way too funny. And anyway, I could go on about that movie.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We can probably get back into it after we're done with this. And I don't know how many stupid comments we have right now. But
we have enough.
Yeah. We might be able to cut that a little short and get back into this. But Lion Patriot said, what are the best techniques to wrangle a wild Weebo? Well, I just yell at her. And that seems to work.
What did you do that helped wrangle me? Because like you were there physically in person. You could better wrangle me.
I still was just like yelling at you.
I would assume being Greek helps.
So...
All right, that aside.
Oh, well, never mind. I don't know.
Wait, being Greek?
Yeah. To help wrangle a wild Weebo? I don't know. It's a guess.
But I'm not Greek.
Never mind.
Oh!
Wow, SDA's mind is made of molasses tonight. Cold.
Well, he was asking me how I do it, okay?
Well, and then I thought once you gave your answer, I thought the question was open to the floor.
Yeah, it was, and I was confused. You're right. How Sanguine asked, how should I go about growing the viewership for my cooking channel?
Chill yourself in all of the Discords. Do something trendy and novel.
And keep making content. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, do something novel. Like when they figured out how to do rolled ice cream, that was a pretty niche type of thing, and it blew the frick up. So invent a new way of cooking or producing food that's delicious and yummy looking.
Do a crossover with Satsu.
That's
once in a while, like either through a stream or like you do a live stream with them where you trade off recipes. Like you do a live stream on your channel where he gives your recipe to cook live or something, and then vice versa, and then you two can sort of challenge each other and then make a show out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep improving your channel, keep uploading, just do all the things in the stuff. There's no secret other than just keep improving your content. So
always
if you could, and then Attack Alpaca asked if you could pick the one worst thing to do in a negotiation, what would it be? Start jacking off in front of the intern.
It depends on the type of negotiation. So what I learned during hostage negotiations is you don't want to ever put the blame on the person who's taking the hostages, because it is their fault, but they don't want to hear that, all right? Because this is their way of taking back control that they don't feel that they need to take control of, and in order to get what it is that they want, in a sense. So yeah, don't put the blame on them in that instance. But if you're like negotiating prices, always like give yourself some wiggle room between what the asking price is for, or like what market price is and what you're willing to pay or what it is you're willing to sell it for. Because there's always going to be some wiggle room there, and you can come to an agreement on that. So like if something costs, I don't know, $25, or if you're selling something for $25, maybe up the price to $30 instead. That way you give that person that feeling of, oh, well, I've negotiated myself into a better position, therefore I will buy this more likely than not. Yes?
Yes, the stuff and things and stuff.
Any more advice? Scribbles, do you have any negotiation tactics that are no-nos?
Like if you're on the site, well, let's see. If you're in the position of asking for something, well, let's see. Whenever I had to negotiate something, or somebody came to me and wanted something, and then they wanted to know like how much I was going to charge or something like that, I'd always like set it higher than was actually necessary, right? Because ultimately they're going to want to negotiate down no matter what you say. So set it higher than you would actually want to do it for. And then, if you come to a happy medium, more likely than not, you'll either be slightly higher or at what you would have done it for at your best shot anyway. You don't want to overshoot it, because then the guy knows you're fucking with him. And then if you're on the other side, if you're trying to get a deal out of something, you just got to keep pushing and keep arguing and haggle. It all depends on the situation, though. It depends on the person you're working with. You have to know them. You have to know, what the limits are. It's psychology, trial and error, and a little bit of risk.
I'll also say this: like, make sure that you, when you're doing like any kind of, if you're doing any kind of freelance work or something like that, make sure that you're being your own advocate or whatever, and make sure that you're protecting yourself as far as all of that kind of stuff goes. And don't let people take advantage of you.
Here's one other real small piece of advice. This happened to my sister recently. Luckily for her, out of the blue, another company offered her a job that paid like $8,000 more than she was making per year at her current place. Nice. She didn't go seeking a new job. They just came out of the blue. And by dumb luck, it was 3 days before she had her 5-year review at her current job. So she went over to her HR guys at her review time and she said, hey, just so you know, I got this offer from this other company and they're offering me this. And they immediately said, well, wait. And they went back and they came back to her with a counter offer that was $2,000 above that. Now, that was just dumb luck on my sister's part, but she handled it exactly perfectly. Except the one piece of advice I gave her that thankfully she took up was, I told her, you need to write a very, very grateful letter to the lady that offered you the job at the other place and thank her for the offer and be very cordial about it and be very apologetic. But, you know, et cetera. Because when you work in a niche industry like that, you never know when it's going to come up to be on good relations with somebody from another place. You never know. So always maintain good relations. Don't burn any bridges you don't have to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, never burn.
Yeah, always be polite. Always do like the stupid business email that you think sounds silly. Do it and be polite. Go out of your way to be polite and thankful and cordial and nice to people. It's really helpful.
It goes a long way.
Yeah.
Are there any more advice questions from the audience? No, I don't.
Wow, singling people out, weebs.
I didn't mean to.
Real quick, Yorda is now out on audio, so my second book is on audio. I don't know how to say that yet.
Your second book is now on Audible.
Well, it's everywhere. So
it's all the places.
It's all the places. So it's an audio book now. It's on Audible, but it's also like on Kobo, audiobooks.com. Like it's on all the places that you can get audiobooks. So wherever you might have a subscription, you can get it. But the main place I'll link is Audible.
I like how in the chat they're giving really, really horrible hostage-taking negotiator advice. SCA is a hostage negotiator, a hostage taker guy. Why are you such a piece of shit?
Now you want negotiator advice? Watch the movie The Negotiator with Samuel L. Jackson and, unfortunately, Kevin Spacey. Still a good movie.
I don't think you'll do it. You're a coward.
I was like, what's wrong with Kevin Spacey? And then I was like, oh yeah, I remember.
No, they dropped those charges, I thought.
Yeah, they dropped those charges. I'm sure that means Kevin Spacey's a totally not creepy guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's not like we got a completely creepy video of him in character immediately after everything kind of blew up. That was like, yeah, he's so definitely guilty.
That was so bizarre.
Do you remember?
Yeah, he's in the kitchen chopping. Let me be frank.
Let me be frank.
And talking in an accent and everything. It's like, okay, Kevin Spacey has lost his fucking mind.
What was the point of that video, though? Like, I don't know. Honestly, if you thought that, if I thought that he was already creepy, that just solidified that fact. If there's any doubt in my mind, that video just solidified it.
Yeah, well, he's ridiculously wealthy to begin with. He doesn't have to worry about money, so he might as well say one kind of weird, eccentric fuck you to everybody if he wants to. But still, it was like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
You think he'll ever act again? You think anybody ever pay to have him in their movie again?
You know, maybe in a foreign country that's not this one.
I mean, Mel Gibson got work again, so it's possible.
Yeah, but Mel Gibson... Wait, what was Mel Gibson? He wasn't accused of touching little boys, was he?
No, he was just doing
a bunch of more
anti-Jewish yelling and screaming at his wife and everything.
Yeah, that's a little different.
It's not.
It is different. It's different.
It's not the same.
It's not like rape-a-doodle, you know?
Rape-a-doodle.
It's not like rape-a-doodle.
You make it sound like an ice cream flavor.
It's not an ice cream flavor.
I know.
I've been using Rape-A-Doodle since Lords of the Night Day.
It's a little bit more serious.
You don't remember chat having an absolute freaking aneurysm the first time they heard it? They were like, how dare you say such a thing? One person had like a hissy fit. They were like, that trivializes rape. So I kept doing it.
Well, I just don't hear it that often anymore. It's just
part of my vocabulary.
Just like Smush Cookie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Smush Cookie, Snoochadoodle.
Ice cream flavor with GHB. Oh, Jack. We need to get Jack on here. Actually, no, that would get me in trouble.
Well, it's better than getting Jack off here.
Ha ha.
This is a family-friendly show, Scribe.
Could have fooled me.
So, guys, if you would like to ask us elderly people advice...
What on earth?
If you'd like to ask us advice, you can do so by clicking the link to the Discord in the description and heading to the couch and asking your questions, where I have adhered everybody today at 7:12 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Central Standard Time, is that like the fence sitters of time?
Yes.
No, it's like Chicago Standard Time.
Nobody cares.
Chicago
about
cares.
Central Time.
All of Chicago cares.
Nobody cares about Central Time.
I care. I live here half the year, like 3 months of the year. Like,
speaking of Chicago, I did I just want to plug. I did a live stream. I did a Familiar with the Matter episode earlier today with the owner and executive producer of a independent film company who's got a Kickstarter trying to do a cyberpunk/fantasy web series, and they're trying to get funding to make the trailer for this web series. So you can go find that on my channel.
Jack is talking about my bear. Which bear? Is it the big one or is it the small white one? Which one? He's talking shit about my bear. He's not a pedo. He's a cute teddy bear.
Mm.
His name is Mr. Snuggles.
Of course it is. Come here, Mr. Snuggles.
He's like 2/3 of my size.
Uh-huh.
All right, we got about 3 minutes left.
3?
And then we're,
How is he creepy?
What?
And then we're on to stupid comment
time.
Oh, okay.
You could not have said that with more enthusiasm, STA.
Yay.
CST is about 1/3 of the country. See? Did you just sneeze?
No, I just breathed it through my nose.
Like, CST is about 1/3 of the country, but like, who cares?
Wow.
Damn.
I care.
You're just like Hillary Clinton. 1/3 of the country? Who gives a shit? I'm going to win anyway.
I'm not running for president, though.
So Rich at Art asks us, so how did you prepare for senior year? I just turned 17, and after the summer, I'll be in my last year of high school. So how do I get ready for it? You don't. Just accept that senioritis is going to be a thing that you catch, and it's going to be criminally terminal. And, I mean, I got straight A's in senior year of high school, but not everyone succeeded as much as I did. No, so in order to prepare, you have to be ready, willing, and able to move on with your life after high school. It's not going to be the best years of your life, I can tell you that, because it's high school. You peak in high school, you got other problems, son. But, you want to make senior year something memorable, so if that means going to prom, then go to prom. You don't have to. It's not like a pivotal experience that you have to experience. I didn't feel like it was, but you do make a lot of memories with friends who you probably gonna end up saying goodbye to for the last time at some point soon after graduation, because for whatever reason we stopped talking with people from high school after high school. I think I only talked to one person chronically that I knew in high school, and that's my boyfriend. So, wow, that was really sad. I just depressed myself.
I still talk to a lot of people from high school.
I don't. And I go back to my hometown every summer, and I just don't hang out with anybody from high school. But here's the thing, right? A lot of the people that I knew in high school are either... it's going to sound really bad. A lot of them are in jail or on parole or pregnant and have kids, multiple kids. Some kids that are like 6 years old, which is really, really wonky. or they are moving on to bigger and better and greater things and getting the F out of this town, or they're going through like really tumultuous custody battles with their baby mamas, or just going nowhere, as in like staying at dead-end jobs in this town and just kind of settling for mediocrity, which is a really bad thing to say, but I don't know.
Well, with that, stupid comment time.
I didn't like people in high school. That's fair to say, right? Yeah, stupid comment time. All right, my turn.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm a stickler for the schedule.
That's fair. That's fair. I just, I just started reminiscing about high school, and it just made me realize that, wow, I don't have a lot of things to brag about with regards to the people I knew in high school. Like, none of them are going to go on to be rocket scientists. I'm opening up the graphics as we speak. All right, SDA, I sent you this, and you never responded. So now we're going to have, like, a whole discussion about it, because it's very important.
Sent me what?
This message that I got from Instagram.
Oh, you know what? Somebody else sent me something today, a message, and I was going to tell you, and so I'm telling you now. And I was just like super creeped out because another thing happened previously this week. And so I did a thing to get it to stop. And then he was like, "Oh, that's really sad that you did the thing to make me stop talking to you." And
Is
so
it someone we're both familiar with?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Type their name in the sidebar. I want to know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. This is totally not a conversation I should be having on here, but
no, you're gonna spill the tea for me later, though, right?
No, it's in the side chat. It's in the side chat.
I get to know now too. I don't know
you do.
Oh, okay, all right, never mind.
I have no idea what that means.
I thought we were talking about something completely different.
No, we're talking about that. No, but okay, hold on. I'm gonna type this because I have to get this out.
All right, Scribe, do you want to read this then?
Do I want to read what?
The message on the screen right now, not the one that SDA is typing.
I don't have. Hold on, I gotta put my bandwidth up.
The visual.
Hello, I am looking for a female view on a chronic skin problem I have since I was in my youth. Do you find it appealing?
So this is a message request on Instagram, and I don't think
eczema?
I bet it was a penis. I bet he wanted to send me a picture of his dick.
Oh,
that's what I sent SDA verbatim. I think I was like, how much you would have bet?
No, you did.
I'm thinking about being like, all right, what is it? Because I want to know if I'm right, but I also don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Maybe the skin problem is his foreskin. It never came off. So
like, who asks that of just some random person that they've never met? And it's a dummy account too, so there's no like following there. There's no one that they're following except for me. There's no following, and there's
Or maybe it's that skin condition where like splotches of your skin are like the opposite, or are completely without melanin. So like you have
vitiligo.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, maybe it's that.
Michael Jackson syndrome.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I think it's a dick.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, Roger Brown thinks that I should be a drag kid when I grow up. Thanks, Roger. I'll try. I don't want to. Also, Scribbles, apparently I need to get married. Do I look of marrying age to you?
Who, you?
Yeah.
Well, if you were in Texas, you'd be ready at 14.
That's fair. I thought that was Utah.
I think with parental consent, well, I could be in Utah as well. If I remember correctly, with parental consent, you can get married, unless they've changed the law, because God knows I might be out of date. With parental consent in Texas, you can get married at 14. Not that I would endorse such a thing.
I'm sorry, dude, what the fuck?
Somebody might have to check me, because I know at one time it was the law, at least in the 90s or something, because there was a documentary about Waco, and they were talking about David Koresh and his brides in the compound. And somebody in that documentary said, now, with parental consent, you can have your daughter married or your child married at the age of 14, even though that's not looked kindly upon. It's not illegal. But again, I don't know if that's still the case in Texas.
It's in the side chat.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
So I don't know what it is, but sometimes I get a viewer comment that's like, you need to get married and start having babies now.
Oh.
And I'm like, but I'm in college.
I'm
nowhere near ready.
It's never too early to start breeding.
Like, I have plans, don't get me wrong, but they're not for a couple of years. Calm down. I will still be of appropriate fertility in like 5 years, 6 years. Calm down. All right, I'll be in that sweet spot. It's not a problem. And then this was one that I got when I was at VidCon SDA. Do you remember when I read you this?
I know it's probably really hot where you're at and it's summer and all that, but tank tops are not your thing. And watch your videos in almost a year when I come back and while you fucking tanked out, girl, might want to lay off the tank tops and stick with the moo-moos. What is a moo-moo?
A moo-moo is it's that big flowy thing that's just kind of like a giant bag on you.
Wow.
Girls in tank tops, some can pull them off. Actually, all of them can pull them off if they want to. But anyway, yes, I mean, it looks good on some women, doesn't look good on others. I'm fine with Weebo in a tank top.
Thanks, Scribe. That means a lot.
Hey, I'm a dirty old man.
Is that what he's saying, Roasted Opinions? That I'm too thick? Is that what's going on here?
You're too thick for your own good.
Because, he wrote this like he was high on something at the time. Or he has not the knowledge of past third grade grammar or anything. I don't know. But I asked him, I said I was confused. What's so offensive about tank tops? And then I asked him to explain it to me like I was 5. Because that's what his comment made me feel like I was 5. Because he's trying to say something. He's desperately trying to tell me something. But I just cannot for the life of me understand what he's trying to say. That's the only reason that women wear muumuus that I'm aware of is because they're thick. Well, yeah, that's half of my appeal.
Okay, now I have to look it up. Like, what the... Oh.
Yeah, look up.
Ew.
All right.
A muumuu.
And then this guy was just... He was a butthole. Scribe, do you want to read this?
Yeah, 1 second, sorry. Wow, you're a truly mediocre actress. The faux patrician accent in particular is weak. A quite unentertaining video, dear. No sub. What's your faux patrician accent?
Oh, I have no fucking clue. I just picked a random.
Your British accent, like
No. Okay, so it was a Missy Andrew video where I was pretending to be a social justice warrior, and I was being like, "Oh, I'm so much better than you." Oh, okay. In that sense. I couldn't mimic it right now because I'm not in that mindset. I'm not wearing the wig. I need the wig. I need the wig in order to get in that zone. But it wasn't like I was trying to. I was not going for an Oscar here, sir. It was complete satire. So calm down. And then, as always, Johnny Sandtrap he's not SDA's biggest fan. SDA, would you like to read this?
I'm sorry. What the fuck? Okay. What is on the
screen? Can you read?
You know what? Scribe, you do it.
Okay. What's an opsy? Did you mean oopsie? Also, DNW OBV because SDA maybe give another non-cyber begging, non-SJW with issues able to read co-host a shot, and we can get back to 2K plus views consistently. What do you mean we, white man?
I've never had 2K plus views consistently. I don't
know. Me neither.
I
top out at about somewhere between 400 and 700 on any particular video, unless it's my Monkey's G.I. Jane movie review. That thing's at 19,000 views.
Oh, impressive.
Yeah, I know. I have no idea why. I mean, it's a good review, but it's just so bizarre. So DNW OBV because SDA. Okay, I'm obviously not hip to the jive. What's DNW OBV?
I don't
OBV,
know.
obviously. Okay, I don't know. Non-cyber begging, non-SJW issues. Well, see, I haven't cyber begged. I'm not an SJW with issues. I'm able to read. I'm not that great on being able to read necessarily your message, but you know.
Yeah, Scribe, you want to replace SDA?
You want to replace SDA?
Yeah, she was so willing to replace me with you. Totally fair.
Oh, I'm not thick.
Oh no, he's talking about me.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Well, yeah, because he was saying SDA or STD strike through.
Oof, that's hard.
And Lion Patriot, go fuck yourself. Okay, go sit in the fucking corner.
You know, this is why you don't get this is why you don't have 2K plus views consistently.
He's being a dick.
SDA.
Oh my god,
infuriating our audience.
He infuriated me first.
You don't tell.
He goes on. No, this is stupid comment time. Okay, this is stupid comment time. I'm calling out a stupid fucking comment. Bitch.
This is SDA showing her thin skin time.
There's an argument to be made that I make it better red.
No, you fucking don't, bitch.
Hey, I challenge you both to impress me with your changing your hair to red.
No, I
won't mind
chemicals in my hair. I just naturally keep it like this beautiful color.
Mm-hmm. A honey gold.
It's actually strawberry blonde, Scribe.
Strawberry blonde.
Yeah. Jeez.
Is this my patrician accent?
No, that wasn't it.
No, I'm a patrician.
I don't even know what that means. Patrician.
It's kind of hoity-toity.
It's hoity-toity.
Hoity-toity.
It's a fake hoity-toity accent. Yes, that's the point.
Yeah.
I love stupid comment time because sometimes you get people who are actually engaged in the conversation, and then other times you get people who are just like, "Oh," and it's a great time. Like I've had comments from Zen Rhino that he's just gone back and completely deleted before, but I've had comments from him that are just like, "What, sir?"
Yeah, we don't get many mean comments anymore. Like I don't see Magoon anymore on Lords of the Night. And
that was such a thing. He had like 50 fucking accounts.
And there was another. It might have been Magoon under a different name. I forget what the person's name was, but they would go to both mine, Satsu's, and Monkey's channels and on different videos and things, and leave comments. And we haven't had many sort of show enemies, real detractors in quite a while. Not that I'm asking for any, but it's just kind of nice that for the most part our audience likes us, unlike Lion Patriot here apparently.
Oh, Lion Patriot he's a good boy.
Oh, okay.
Except when he's fucking not.
Okay, there you go. There you go. You had a moment where you could win him back, but now SD had to ruin it. There you go. Yeah.
He's being a dick. It's not my fault. Why are we acting like this is my fault when someone's like, "Hey, you're ugly," and you guys are like, "Hey"? Why would you say that, SDA? I didn't do it. It's not my fault. Anyway, so it's chat time. So if you guys want to, I know, give it a second, Weebo. Let me do the thing. Okay. Let me do the transition, and I'll let you do it. All right. I'm sorry we overlapped. It's my fucking fault, but we're doing it like this now. I'm a dick. I'm a terrible person. I'll go put myself in the corner in a second. All right. So it's chat time. Ask us your questions, comments, concerns, things you want to say, things you want to ask, anything like that. Go ahead, put them in chat, put lots of question marks, all that kind of stuff. Weebo, go for it. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Sanguine, for the $5 over on the Streamlabs. No matter how illiterate a host is, my messages are transmissible illiteracy, it seems. Plus, the fact neither of you can read is where part of the fun comes. Yeah, no, I think part of our illustrious charm comes in the fact that neither of us can speak a word of English completely well.
Why does your chin need support?
Why not?
I
think it emphasizes the point.
I don't know.
This is called method acting.
Oh, method acting is not voguing.
I don't know. Maybe.
Also, it's funny. I was just about to address the cyber begging thing, but then the first question that I saw pop up was SDA, how's the self-publishing going? Which is, I'm pretty sure what he's referring to as cyber begging is me talking about my books.
Yeah, that's
Either
exactly
that
right.
or it's us just being like, we have a Streamlabs. It's one of the two. But either way, we have a Streamlabs. And also, I'm glad you asked, recently, the sequel to Livescraft, Yorta, the audiobook was just completed, and it's now up on Audible and all of the other audiobook platforms. So I'll just go ahead and pop the link in chat, for reasons.
Yeah.
But the narrator is really great. She's awesome. She was really awesome to work with. Her voice sounds like an angel, and I'm really excited. So everybody's really been liking it. I'm really excited to hear what people think about the second book.
That's not cyber begging. That's shilling. You actually have a product to sell. You're not just saying, give me money for no reason.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. I wonder what's going to happen when I come out with like a side project thing that I'm super proud of and I want people to pay me money for. Like it'll be an app, or it'll be like I'll actually maybe get around to actually publishing a book at some point, or it'll be like,
it's not going to be a Weebo branded 10-foot long dildo.
Well, then here's what happens, Weebo. You become a terrible person like the rest of us with an actual job, as if YouTube can't be a job, You terrible human being with things that you're proud of.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, go subscribe
you put time and effort into
channel, which is linked in the description, ladies and gentlemen.
Your second channel is a lot of fun.
Ooh, you know what? I should come out with a line of moo-moos.
Oh, you can call them wee-woos.
Thank you, Roasted Opinions. I'm stealing that idea.
Wee-woos.
That name is amazing, Scribe.
Wee-woo.
I know. Wee-woos.
And yes, Lion Patriot. Okay, you're back in my good graces now. You're right. You're fine. You're right. I do have signed copies. Thank you for shilling that.
Weeble will make arts and crafts. The profit margin is great. I think I said that right.
Huge.
It's huge. It's the best trade deal in the history of trade deals. I don't know.
Bigly. It's bigly.
It's bigly.
History in the trade of trade deals.
Aren't
you know what?
Mini moo-moos just normal clothes? No, they're not. You can get like normal side moo. I looked it up. You can, because I looked them up and it was like all the pictures were normal people or like very, very rotund people.
These look like Hawaiian dresses.
Ooh. Actually, what you need to do is when you do the ads for your moo-moos, you need to hire tailed feature, and so your slogan can be "fucking wee moo."
I actually think I have one of these.
Oh, it didn't land.
But like, it's a cute moo-moo. Did I say that right? Moo-moo. I would get... Oh, no. These are Hawaiian, aren't they? I would get dinged for cultural appropriation if I donned a moo-moo. It would just be like a whole hot mess. It would not work. I'm going to do it. I'm going to wear a moo-moo. Who would I piss off more if I didn't wear the moo-moo versus if I did wear the moo-moo?
If you had if your moo-moos had a built-in giant dick sling, you'd be fine.
Scribe, we're family friendly now.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Richard Sling.
There we go. A little bit better.
Real quick, Roasted Opinion said, "Hey, I hope to publish someday. If self-pub will work better than trying to get a contract with the legacy publisher, then So yeah, the thing is, with self-publishing right now is that the industry kind of doesn't know which way it's really going, because at least for first-time authors, in the vast majority of cases, even for career authors, you still have to do most of your marketing. And with all the resources that we have available to us, self-publishing is looking like the way to go, assuming that you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, as in getting your manuscript edited the way that you're supposed to have that done, and then also getting cover art done properly and doing all that correctly. The one thing that we don't have access to is like hardcover jackets that are quite as nice. The jackets are really nice, don't get me wrong, but we can't do things like embossed text yet, and like the different textures of jackets and soft covers and things like that. And that's really the only thing right now that we can't do. We also can't do fancy things like sprayed edges and stuff like that the big publishers can do.
They're called deckled edges.
No, there's two different. You're thinking about something else.
Oh, you mean sprayed like as in like they're colorful?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We can't do either of those things. So,
wow. Well, then what's the point? I'm just kidding.
Wow.
anyway, so, but the thing about that too is that will probably change here in the near future anyway, because a couple years ago you couldn't get hardcover books for yourself. You could only self-publish to like Kindle or Nook or whatever. So yeah, hopefully that'll change soon and that won't be a problem. So it's kind of a preference thing, and you just have to look into what's best for you. And a lot of authors throughout their careers, depending on how long those careers are, and if you are an author and that's what you do, a lot of them wind up doing both at one point or another. So yeah, it's just if that's something you really want to do, it's a lot to think about, but yeah, really look into it and really think about it. And if you have questions, I'm on Discord, and feel free to ask me questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Is it cheaper to self-publish than to regular publish?
No.
No, it's not cheaper.
Oh no! The exact opposite. No, because if you are self-publishing, you pay for everything.
Oof.
Yeah. Whereas if you have a publisher, they pay for everything.
Yes. So this is the one thing that I will say. Just if nobody ever wants to talk to me because you think I'm a fucking idiot or whatever, at least hear this. If you go to a publisher and they ask you to ever give them money, run.
Yeah.
Under no circumstances, for any fucking reason, should you be handing a publisher money.
All right.
They should be paying you because they're the publisher. And that's how that works.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like the pyramid schemes that say, with just a small investment of $1,500, we'll send you the materials you need to do XYZ PDQ if you ever.
Exactly.
No.
Absolutely not. No. If it's a publisher, it should cost you nothing. It costs you nothing with a publisher. Okay? That's how that works.
The only thing you should be paying for is your agent.
Thank you to Tuscan Tree for the $10 over on the Streamlabs. SDA's books are awesome. Give them a try. I'm actually in the middle of the first one, so I'm right there.
Yeah, I hope you like it. Also, if you are self-publishing too, this is another thing that just because these are the two traps that people get into. One, you would never have to pay a publisher. Two, if you didn't buy your ISBN, you don't own it. There's no such thing as a free ISBN. If you didn't pay money for it, if it is not in your name, you don't own it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You don't own your there's no such thing as a free ISBN. Once you under all of the government regulations, once an ISBN has been purchased, ownership can't be transferred. So
you just get one given to you.
What?
I'm confused on how that works. You just go and apply for one and they give it to you, or do you have to pay for it?
You have to go pay for them. Okay. You have to purchase them. So yeah, you have to purchase them, and you can purchase them in blocks. So you can buy one for $100. You can buy 10 for $300. You can buy 100 for $600. If you catch my drift.
So they're expensive.
Well, what I'm also saying is that you should buy 100 at once if you're going to be publishing is a career thing, because you can buy one for $100, 10 for $300, or 100 for $600.
So buy 100 for $600.
Yeah, or you can buy 1,000 for, I think it's $1,200. But everybody sit around and do the math.
That's so much.
I know, well, it's also a lot of ISBNs, but anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry. These are like the couple of things that everything you need to know about self-publishing websites don't tell you.
Mhm.
And it's like the one thing that people don't know. And it's the one thing that like, that's where Amazon like gets you. And now they own all of your things.
Is that the
So
case for you now?
yeah, no, it's not. I bought all my ISBNs, but I didn't know that you could buy them I didn't know how the blocks worked.
Oof.
So I bought them individually and then I bought a block. And I paid $900 for 103. Right? It's like, see, so like it's dumb. Anyway, I missed the beginning of the stream. Have you talked about going to VidCon? We talked briefly about it sort of, but we haven't
addressed it very much. We did a very bad job taking a lot of video. We took video, but I need to get that footage from USDA, whatever it is that you have that I don't have.
I don't have anything.
Well, anything that you took that was on Snapchat.
Oh.
Do you not have that?
I don't have like good Snapchat footage.
All right. Anything you got, I'll grab it because I'm going to put it into a nice little vlog thingy and put it on the channel.
Okay.
That'll be nice.
I'll see if I have anything salvageable.
But it was my first VidCon, and I thought I had a good time. I met a lot of people, got super drunk.
I had a heat stroke.
Yeah, SDA had a heat stroke.
Jesus.
The first day. Okay, here's what happened. Right. And I'm so salty about this. So the first day, we wound up at the Marriott bar, which is where everybody hangs out at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like 2 drinks at the beginning of the day, but I hadn't been drinking. And it was like getting towards like the end of the afternoon. And I was like, I guess I was starting to fade because like I didn't think anything was wrong. But you and Sophane were looking at me like, oh yeah, shit.
I was shit faced, but I was like, SDA, are you okay?
And I guess it was taking me a long time to respond to questions.
Yeah.
Because Sophane was like, oh God. Because his thing was like, Weebo, go find food and feed it. Holy crap, it's gonna die.
And so I went and I stood in line for pizza.
And so she got me pizza and she tried to feed me. And I was like, I'm fine. And I was really cranky. My head hurt and I didn't know what was wrong. I thought I was like responding to things fine. But Sophane was just like, are you okay? And I thought I was going, yeah, I'm fine. But apparently, according to him, I was like,
there's a whole thing.
Yeah, I'm fine. Like it was a long ass pause of me just like staring off into the distance before I was like, I'm fine. And so meanwhile, while I'm starting to have a heat stroke, her drunk ass.
I'm just zooming around the hotel lobby, going to every single person, and I'm like, hi, what are you drinking? How are you? How was your day? Are you having fun at VidCon? I'm Weebo. Let's talk. I was this little social butterfly.
I was having a heat stroke trying to wrangle a Weebo, and everybody is looking at me like, can you fix it? And I'm like, I'm having a heat stroke, right? And so then she makes friends with Billy the Fridge, which like, oh my, like he's a very nice guy.
He is.
Okay.
Oh, he's such a sweetheart.
He's such a sweet guy, but they have like very similar personalities, meaning that they shouldn't drink together, especially because he can give her alcohol. So the first thing he does upon seeing that this midget is fucking shit-faced out of her ass, okay? The first thing he does is he's like, let's go get a drink. So she's like, instead of going, I've had enough to drink like an adult, she goes, okay, and he gets her an adios, motherfucker.
For those of you who don't know what an adios motherfucker is, it's got vodka, rum, tequila, gin, blue Curacao liquor, sweet and sour mix, clear soda. And I watched the bartender make it, he took all of the bottles and he just tipped them over in the air over the glass for a prolonged period of time, and I'm watching it happen, and I'm like, and then it turns blue.
I knew that something was wrong because I'm just sitting there talking to Cynical Reviews, and she comes back with this fucking Windex, right? And I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna die, and it's gonna be my fault. I took a midget to VidCon, and I came back with 0 midget, you know?
Wow.
And either way, like, what happened was Billy kind of realized, like, halfway through, like, 2 sips into this drink that he should not have done this.
Yeah.
And so I finally got her shit together. And
she's like, Weebo, drink water. So she
this is what I did to her. I was like, you go back to the bar, you get 2 glasses of water. And she was like, okay, because she's drunk. And so she goes and gets 2 glasses of water. She comes back, she's like, here's water for you because you don't look so good. And she's like, I have water for me. And I was like, sit, drink. And she's trying to be social because she's like, I'm being social. It's VidCon. And I was like, and so every time she opened her stupid mouth, I was like, drink water. And then so like I drank half of like my water. And then she got done her water because like I said, every time she opened her mouth, I was like, shut up. And then when she was done with that, I was like, and drink the rest of this. And she was like, okay. And then she was done with that. And then like I had to excuse us, like I was taking my child home because I was like, I have to get this one to the fucking hotel before she does something.
You have been listening to an audiobook preview of their visit with Scribe next summer.
Oh my god, it was such a great time. And then, okay, we stumbled back to the hotel. Actually, I stumbled. You were just like
I was
on a
about to say,
mission.
we stumbled there?
Well, here's the thing. Like, this is the bullshit part, okay? I'm sober as fuck. All right?
Sober as fuck.
Just sober.
But I had the worst migraine I've ever had in my entire goddamn life. All right? And this one's bouncing off the fucking walls like nothing's wrong. And we get back to the hotel, and it was like by the time we got back to the hotel, it was so bad that like I couldn't do anything. I had to lay down. She turned all the lights out, and I could not get up. I was just like, you have to go get me water, and like that was it. I couldn't get back up.
So she sends a highly intoxicated midget out into the world.
Because if I get up, I'm gonna puke, and if I puke, we're gonna have to call 911 because there's nothing in me to puke up, and so my blood pressure is gonna drop, and we're gonna have a situation on our hands that you can't handle right now. So you go get me water and good fucking luck.
Yeah. So I leave the room and I'm looking for a vending machine, and the first vending machine I go to, there's no water in it. And then I go to a second one. There's no water in it. And I venture to a third one. And at this point, my feet are hurting because we just walked like 1.5 miles or whatever. And I'm like, all right, here's my card. I'm going to put it in the slot. And I keep missing. I am literally just standing there stumbling around this vending machine trying to get the card in the freaking slot. I'm just like, all right, steady. And then I finally get it. And then I'm like, all right, now for the button. And I'm like, which button am I? And I finally get the water and I bring it back. And I hand it to her and I'm like, all right. And then I crash. And then I order food a few hours later once I come to. And then I go get it. And I'm completely sober at that point. And then SDA is still not feeling good. And then she's like, where did you get food? And I'm like, oh, I went down the street. But yeah, SDA was not in a good way. And I did not have a hangover at all.
It was fucking bullshit because the whole night, right, I'm like dead. And I looked dead. I felt dead. I felt like I had a good time, all right? But I had spent the day having a heat stroke. This one, like, got super ship and had like none of the effect. I got her hangover. I'm so upset.
It's been like a week. Are you want to calm down a little bit about that?
It's more fun this way.
It is more fun this way. I like outraged SDA, especially when she's outraged at me because it's kind of hilarious. But it was a good time. Regardless, it was a good time.
And the food was actually pretty good that we got.
Food, oh god, I
because then we
so much.
Because then we went there for breakfast the next 2 days, and it was really good.
It was this little place called, what was it, Coco? Coco?
Yeah, Coco's something, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And they had good breakfast food. They
really did.
So much breakfast food. Oh my gosh, they had raspberry cheese pancakes, and I was just dying.
It was really good food.
Mm-hmm. I like food.
It was all of the yum.
One day the shoe will be on the other foot, SDA, and you'll be the winner.
I don't drink like that, though.
X. Massive X. Yeah, I've never actually had a hangover, or thrown up, or passed out. Like, I remember every single second of that day like it happened yesterday. I remember every single drink that I had, I think, that day, too. Because I started off with rum and coke, then I went on to... no, I started off with a tequila sunrise, then I went on to rum and coke, and then we took a break, and then we came back, and then I think I had a whiskey old fashioned, and then I think that's when I started in on the, yeah, that's when no, that was another rum and coke.
On one of your rum and cokes, I got really, I got annoyed with you, and I was like, you know what? I'm cutting you off, and I'm going to drink half of it because no. I was like, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
I'm not embarrassed about this. I had fun. I had a good time. It's like my 21st birthday that I didn't quite get.
I'm glad you had fun.
I had a lot of fun. And that's not even the whole weekend either. I went down the big slide with Jeff Holiday.
You did go down the big slide with Jeff Holiday.
It was a good time.
Yeah, I didn't, because I didn't drink the next day because I was like, I'm not doing anything to my body at all after that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think my body wants anything to happen to it. So
she's okay now, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm good, but yeah, I was told that once you hit 22, you start getting hangovers.
No.
And they were right. And I'm annoyed.
I'm never going to have a hangover.
You're wrong.
Never, ever, ever.
I mean, you know what? All of us, like me and Addie, were talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
And we were both really irritated because, and all of our friends too, like our entire friend group is like, God damn it, we all get hangovers now.
Yeah.
Because like, it's not even that we get like stupid drunk or anything, but it's like you feel it. And I don't enjoy that.
Yeah. They're talking about packing spare livers for the next VidCon. If you can't get a hangover, you can't get a hangover if you don't drink. That's true. You can't get a hangover if you don't drink. You know what's funny, actually? My dad tells this story, and he used to be a paramedic. And then I guess we'll end on this one, this lovely note. My dad used to be a paramedic, and this was around his like college prime 20s days or whatever. And he tells me he used to take bags of saline drips home with him so that on the chance that he did drink too much in a night, he'd just hook himself up to the IV drip and then hydrate himself while he passed out from the alcohol so he didn't wake up with a hangover ever. And I think that's pretty smart. Cheat the system, why don't you? It's pretty funny. No comments?
Well, I mean, look, when you drink, you have to drink a lot of water.
You do.
That's the real.
Just know your limit.
Yeah, like know your limit. Don't
exceed it.
Don't get stupid drunk. Don't do anything dumb. I don't know if the live stream's still up, but if it is, on Poisoning the Wells channel, you can hear about what kind of drunk I am over on the Poisoning the Well channel, because Fat Pat talked about it. And I won't spoil what kind of drunk I am.
Mm.
But because we're out of time.
We are out of time. So with that, thank you, audience, for showing up and having a blast with us in the comments section. Thank you to those who donated. Much obliged. Thank you to Scribbles for joining us on this lovely, fine Sunday evening.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you to SDA for joining me as my co-host every week without fail. And also for keeping me from getting super lost and confused and shit-faced in the middle of Anaheim.
I didn't stop you from getting shit-faced, but I stopped you from dying.
That too. Anyway, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, good night and good riddance.